What you just witnessed was nature at work. The plant and the racers both needed energy in order to function. These two distinct species accomplish the same goal in two different ways.
Plants produce energy by using photosynthesis, in which light, carbon dioxide, and water is taken in to yield oxygen and sugar. This process occurs in chloroplasts located in plant cells. Photosynthesis is divided into two parts, the light reactions and the dark reactions. In the light reactions, which occur in the thylakoid membrane, light energy from the sun is converted to power ADP into ATP and NADP into NADPH. These products are then used by the dark reaction, which occurs in the stroma to produce sugars as glucose to be used by the plant.
All organisms, including the plant and the racers, use cellular respiration to break down glucose molecules and oxygen to yield carbon dioxide, water, and energy. This process occurs in the mitochondria in both plant and animal cells. Cellular respiration is divided into three parts: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm and outputs ATP, NADH, and pyruvic acid. The Krebs cycle occurs in the mitochondria and uses pyruvic acid from glycolysis to output ATP, NADH, FADH2, and carbon dioxide, which is released. NADH and FADH2 are used by the electron transport chain from glycolysis and the Krebs cycle to produce the majority of ATP in cellular respiration.
Now that you have an overview of photosynthesis and cellular respiration, let's go into the details. The first stage in photosynthesis is the absorption of light by pigments. The light energy excites pigment molecules in photosystem 2 until it is released by the two chlorophyll A pigments to the primary electron acceptor. The splitting of water molecules help regenerates the lost electron. The electron then goes down an electron transport chain in which it attracts hydrogen molecules to the thylakoid space. When the hydrogen molecules want to go back to the stroma down their electrochemical gradient, it travels through ATP synthase, which converts ADP to ATP. The electron is then transferred to photosystem 1, in which it is released again into a primary electron acceptor, which brings it into an NADP to convert it to NADPH. The ATP and NADPH goes into the stroma to be used by the Calvin cycle, in which carbon dioxide is combined with RUBP to produce 6 3-carbon molecules. ATP and NADPH use their energy to convert the 6 3-carbon molecule into 6 G3P molecules, which are sugars. One G3P molecule is released to eventually form glucose when it combines with another G3P molecule. The other 5 G3P molecules are converted back to RUBP with the use of ATP to repeat the cycle.
The first stage in cellular respiration is glycolysis, in which a glucose molecule uses 2 ATP molecules to change its structure into fructose, which will split into PEP, regenerating 2 NAD and 2 ADP molecules into 2 NADH and 2 ATP molecules. The PEP will turn into pyruvate and will produce an ATP molecule for each, making a net gain of 2 ATP molecules in glycolysis. The pyruvic acid produced by glycolysis will enter the Krebs cycle in the mitochondria. A carbon dioxide molecule will be released when pyruvic acid is broken down into acetyl-CoAxyl. It then combines with a 4-carbon molecule to make citric acid. The 6-carbon molecule will then be broken down into a 5-carbon and then a 4-carbon molecule to be reused in the cycle. Carbon dioxide is released each time the carbon molecule in the Krebs cycle is broken down. The total net yield for a pyruvic acid molecule in the Krebs cycle, or 2 turns for each glucose, is 2 ATP, 6 NADH, 2 FADH2, and 4 carbon dioxide molecules. The NADH and FADH2 molecules produced from glycolysis and the Krebs cycle will then be used by the electron transport chain. The electrons from NADH and FADH2 will be released into the electron transport chain. It will then attract hydrogen molecules from the matrix of the mitochondria into the intermembrane space. The hydrogens will then go down its electrochemical gradient through ATP synthase, which converts ADP into ATP and be released back into the matrix. The total ATP produced in the electron transport chain is 32 molecules, making cellular respiration produce a total of 36 ATP molecules per glucose.
The two processes are similar in that they both produce energy, all but in two different forms. They are different in that photosynthesis assembles the glucose molecule, while cellular respiration takes it apart. The win-win situation between the two processes is that they provide each other with the necessary ingredients for the process to take place: glucose and oxygen for cellular respiration, and carbon dioxide and water for photosynthesis.
In addition, photosynthesis is an endothermic reaction, meaning it builds up energy to be used later by cellular respiration, which is an exothermic reaction, breaking down the glucose molecule to produce energy.